Wavy borders. I was tempted to remove that and straighten it and put it back on, and then I thought no, it was too much work. So I used my secret weapon, which is the Mountain Mist Fat Batt that I buy in bulk when it's on sale in January. I usually get it about half price. I'm not affiliated with the company, but I love this product. It's thick, it's lightweight, it makes a very warm and snuggly quilt, and much less quilting is needed and you still get great results. Okay, we start by pinning down the inside part of it. I prefer leaving the border unpinned, but you can see I went ahead and pinned it here. So now I'm going to stitch in the ditch right there on the very edge of the border and go slow here and make sure that you stay in that ditch and try to keep that down straight as you possibly can. You'll see later on that I use that stitched seam as the guide for marking the outside edge of the border where I'm going to put the binding and ultimately trim it off. And here you can see that the border is very ruffled and the ditch is straight. So now we pin the border and put lots of pins in there. You can see it's still ruffled, and we're going to try to work this in as well as we can. Just push it down and try to stay on the edge. Sometimes you run off the edge, sometimes your seam's a little bit too thick or whatever, but just work it in and get it as straight as you can. We're not looking for miracles here. We just want something that's going to be nice and pretty. You get pretty good results if you can pull that border straight out away from the quilt. It'll straighten it up quite a bit. But just use your fingers to work that in as much as you can. I try to avoid it, but here you can see I ran out of some space here to work, and so I do have a couple of tiny little tucks in there, but those will be almost invisible. And there you can see what we ended up with. So let's remove those pins, and we will go double time so that we can do the rest of this, because I do not stitch this fast. But just keep working that border, pushing it and pulling it so that you have a relatively straight, flat area to do your meandering stitches. And just work that whole area and get it fastened down pretty good. Some people use piano keys or other types of quilting patterns to ease in a lot of fullness like that, but I had a little bit too much fullness for the piano keys, so I decided to go ahead and just use the meandering here. But you just keep working it and moving it back and forth and work with the quilt. Move it as you need to. And there's the result, and you can see how crooked that outside edge is. So here we went from the ditch from seam and marked it with a pin. Be super careful when you're stitching close to those straight pins, but you can see it turned out pretty well. And there you are, mission accomplished. It worked out, and I have a nice straight border, a nice straight binding, and a nice lofty fluffy snuggly quilt. And of course we have to see the back. There it is, and it turned out quite well. I think we're going to really like that. Thank you for watching.